Hey, what's up everybody? My name is EJ and I just got first place at a box tournament this past weekend, going against a whole bunch of folks, and it was an awesome time being able to cook people with my favorite deck ever since its release back in 2013. And here is my deck profile. Let's start off with Sacred Fire King Garunix because this is everything. It creates awesomeness. Then we have Ponix because Ponix is so cute. Fire King Arvada because it's a negator and an extender. MVP of the deck, Fire King High Avatar Kirin because this card is crazy, does so much for the deck. Protection, revival, destruction, you name it. 2 Island because it goes crazy, although I do side one of them out in games 2 and 3. Sanctuary because Sanctuary is a card of all time. And I'm actually Team Skyburn because destruction is very awesome. But actually more importantly, what came up for me was the protection effect against unwanted destruction. Now let's take a look at our Snake Eye / Sinful Spoil. Of course, we gotta go for the baller card. We got Unwanted Seeker Sinful Spoils. This card goes pretty crazy. Gets our Diabell Star, gets us draws. Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes because this is the bridge between the Sinful Spoils and the Snake Eye package. 1 Diabell Star because she's pretty. 3 Bonfuegos to get us into our Snake Eye lines. However, pro tip, side these out games 2 and 3 because you want, especially if you're going second, because you want to make sure you have more interruptions with your opponent because they're going to try to cook you. 1 Snake Eye Oak because this card goes pretty hard in terms of extending and creating recovery. 1 Flamberge because this card is disruption and extension and just does everything for you and also gets rid of problematic cards that don't want to be destroyed. Poplar, very populous name. You know, this is the card that makes this deck super crazy. But actually, I would argue that Snake Eye Ash is the card that is like the most MVP. That's why we run 3 of it. This is our most important normal summon. If this gets going, especially under Droll, we can cook. So that was 27 cards of Snake Eyes and Sinful and Fire Kings. But that leaves us room with 14 cards of non-engine, starting with 3 Imperms because Imperm is a crazy card, plus it doesn't get your opponent's talents and thrust going, so it's pretty great. 1 Callbite because Shifter is a problem and also hand traps. 2 Talents because Talents make sure that we can look at their opponent's hand if they try to interact with us, or we draw 2, or we steal. Talents is a card of all time. 3 Joel and Lockbird. Combo decks, you know, they want to keep drawing and setting up, so Mikanko, Vanadium, current players, cry. 3 Ash Blossom because Ash Blossom is a card to stop things, but actually siding this out games 2 and 3 because Heat is a card. Nibiru because people get greedy, so punish them with a big chungus rock. And Spicy Tech, we got Kurikara Divine Incarnate to make this card 41 because I like to go 1 step beyond, and also this is searchable with Snake Eye Ash. Extra deck. 1 Xyz monster because it gotta run the boss monster because I love it. Also board wipe, also spell trap destruction, but also floater. Great! 2 princesses because princess, she's beautiful and she gets revival going and she does disruptions. Awesome. Sunlight Wolf to bring back the Kirin hand or any other spicy fire cards we want in our hands. Also the beginning to our Heat Soul line. Ambler Whale because Ambler Whale is a card. And this on to do disruption and revival. IP Masquerena to set up boards on the opponent's turn. Hita because we're in a fire format. Appaloosa, you would think that this card would be amazing, but it actually wasn't that great for me this weekend. Heat Soul was actually pretty crazy, drawing to all our hand traps. Nightmare Phoenix was actually a real card that let me cook Labyrinth while not accidentally triggering their Unchained cards. Pretty great. Link Karibo lets me dodge things and get the Heat Soul line going. It's pretty awesome. SP Little Knight. Funny enough, I didn't go into this card at all this weekend, but it's just nice insurance. World Sees Yolantis because I finally got to pull off the OTK against the Tyrion, and of course, you need to have the Raging Phoenix to be able to pull it off. But actually, I want to talk about the true MVP of this weekend. Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card went really hard for me this past weekend, breaking boards and making sure my opponent can't special summon, also a skill drain on summon. Woo, she was everything. And now let's take a look at our side deck. 3 DD Crow did not come up for me this weekend, so this is on the chopping block for future tourneys. 3 Ghost Bell to actually protect us from cards that hate us, except for Dimension Shifter. But you know, Soul Release is a card of all time, Bestials, doesn't cook us as much, and also protects against our mirror matches. Pretty great. 3 Cosmic Cyclone because Cosmic Cyclone can cook Lab, Brace, and Centurion especially because Calamity Lock screw them. Lightning Storms and Harpy Feather Duster because especially against decks that try to do some really cheeky back row like Summon Limit or Dimensional Fissure, cook them. And actually the true MVP of my side deck, 3 evenly matched because people like to build insane boards, and I say nah. I bait out the Baron Negate with Nib and then get the evenly match going to cook the entire Centurion Horus Super Heavy Samurai board. It's pretty nice. And so that's the Sekai Fire King. Admittedly, not too much different from what you would normally see from a much more optimized list, but it's all about the tech choices and your decision making throughout the duels that will help you carry this deck from losing to winning positions. What I love about this deck is that it has so much interaction. It's not an unplayable game versus other tier 0, tier 1 decks in the past where you basically make an uncrackable board. At least with this deck, there is interaction that is promoted between you yourself and your opponent. And what really matters is when you decide to interact with your opponent, especially given the card pool and deck knowledge. It's really important to know your matchups in order to ensure that you have a strong win rate against this deck. While it is considered tier 1, you gotta be mindful of the fact that we have a big target on our back because this deck is a deck to be respected. So just gotta be ready for all the crazy hate that's gonna come our way, and hopefully that you adapt. This is EJ once again with Team Brick Builders. Thanks for checking us out. If you like what you see and you wanna see more deck profiles like this, check us out at Team Brick Builders on YouTube. So hit the like button, subscribe, and check us out on Instagram too, where we will post behind the scenes content of us, you know, whether we're competing or we're just hanging out and having a good time. We hope to catch you guys later. Have a wonderful day.